Well, the cut is a pretty nasty cut, and now I can't help but wonder if Arguello is not going to have to take the offense here.
Well, unfortunately, Barry, they didn't have a chance to stop the bleeding. Aaron Pryor is going to hop right back on him.
Pryor has picked up the pace here without question.
That lead-off right of Aaron Pryor is confusing Arguello, because Pryor moved one way, then he stopped and released that overhand right and go the opposite way.
He's not letting Alexis Arguello get his punches off. The bleeding is not very bad right at the moment. The swelling is still under the eye as well.
It's really impressive to see Aaron Pryor as a boxer.
Pryor still pressing the action here. Has definitely picked up the tempo. As he knows his man's in trouble. An uppercut, and he right back with the left hand.
That was a beautiful combination.
Right at the moment, Aaron Pryor is in control of this fight.
You'll see Aaron Pryor come under with his punches. He throws the overhand right, then follows that right hand with the straight left jab.
Arguello continuing to try to work on the eye, and it is bleeding again. There was a good right hand right on the eye.
Arguello wants to get closer. All he's doing now is stalking Pryor, trying to get close to him, trying to measure him, trying to time him for some particular punch.
Bleeding is not appreciably worse here, as Arguello's corner actually did a pretty good job of that. He's taken a couple of punches on it. It is bleeding a little bit, but it's not bleeding profusely.
Well, the tables can be turned around if Arguello just picked the pace up now, because Pryor has slowed down tremendously than he did earlier.
And that swelling under the eye is getting a little bit worse on Arguello as well. Arguello right at the moment, again, does not seem to have a lot of sting in his punches either.
Well, he's fighting a bigger man, too.
And there's the right hand, and that might have hurt Pryor. Arguello trying to follow it up, scores with another left hand, but Pryor not stepping back. Pryor does not seem hurt.
But Pryor fights harder when he's hurt, as a matter of fact. Because that left hook and that right hand by Arguello was a good, solid punch.
Let's take a look at that punch that Pryor landed, Arguello landed late in that round. There it is. A bit of carelessness by Pryor, and he gets hit flush on the jaw.
Panama Lewis saying, don't fight his fight, fight your fight. He also said he's a blind fighter. I'm not sure that that's completely accurate. Pryor trying to pick it up here.
You see there, Aaron Pryor gave a feint. It was very effective.
Arguello still seemingly waiting for an opportunity against Pryor here. Pryor continues to work on the eye. Takes a left hand, but doesn't step back.
But Pryor can't make too many of those mistakes. He has a very bad habit of just walking away from his opponent. And with a fight like Arguello, you can't do that.
Crowd really into this fight, as you can hear. Very much in support of Alexis Arguello, who takes a combination from Aaron Pryor.
I like the way Pryor's utilizing the whole ring. I mean, he's walking, he's stepping side to side, back and forth. The only thing I dislike is the way he keeps his hand. He floats his punches out, especially that left jab. He's vulnerable for an overhand right.
He is showing another whole side of him, though. He has not been completely the brawler in this fight. And he's fighting a very intelligent fight. And a combination scores again. Doesn't hurt Arguello, but nonetheless. For the moment, that cut over Arguello's eye is closed.
Very few men can stand in the ring with Aaron Pryor. Pryor should change directions now. He's going the same direction, and Arguello's going to find him out.
A right hand missed. Referee Stanley Christodoulou warning Arguello, and between rounds, Panama Lewis went over to Christodoulou and said, tell him to keep his punches up. And Pryor trying to paw at the eye of Arguello.
Watch what happens when Arguello goes to Aaron Pryor's body and then comes back with his head. Overhand right.
Under 30 seconds remaining in the 8th round. Going downstairs and coming upstairs, just as you mentioned, Ray. And again, takes a warning for low blows. Arguello is starting to time Pryor a little bit better at the end of the 8th round.
We'll take a look here at the low blow, the two-punch combination. Here it is, just below the belt, followed by a high overhand right toward the ear. Probably because Pryor was floating up a little bit.
Round 9.
As long as Aaron Pryor is able to maintain his pace, it'd be quite difficult for Arguello to figure him out. But once he slows down, Arguello comes on strong, gains momentum, and start working that body and up and back to the head.
Panama Lewis between rounds said to Aaron Pryor, when you get inside, duke him out.
Well, Panama wants Pryor inside to stay there, not to come out back outside. Inside, Pryor's able to get those little short uppercuts.
Pryor is inside now. Takes the right hand from Arguello.
You see it happens every time there. Every time Pryor steps out, his hands are down, and Arguello lands. He connects with punches.
Crowd comes alive now for Alexis Arguello. Pryor fighting away from Cincinnati does not feel he's really being accepted by his hometown fans in Cincinnati, although he has no intention of moving. Thought about it for a while, worked out in New York, lived with a friend in New York. That was back when he couldn't get fights.
I feel Pryor at this point now, Pryor would do better by boxing. It's lateral movement. But he has to be doing something because it's difficult for Arguello to figure him out.
Neither man has been down, and that will surprise a lot of ringside observers, myself included.
Now Pryor should get out of the corner and stay away from the ropes.
There's a right hand that causes Pryor to take a step back. And another right hand by Arguello, but as you mentioned, right, Pryor always comes right back after a punch.
After a big punch, Pryor comes right back. But the mistake he's making, Barry, he's stopping, he's slowing down. And Arguello, underhand with that uppercut and an overhand right.
And that cut over Arguello's eye has not been bleeding for the last 2 rounds.
Pryor standing is too straight up. He's too erect for a fight of Arguello's caliber.
That was a right hand by Arguello again, and Pryor now holds on for a moment.
Someone may go down this round. If these guys stand toe-to-toe, someone will go down, I feel.
And a combination, 3-punch combination by Pryor, who's now right on top of Arguello. Arguello stays right there and misses 2 shots of his own. Pryor lunges in with a right hand that's over the head of Arguello.
Well, fortunately for both fighters, there's just a few seconds remaining.
End of the 9th round, Larry.
There were 2 crucial exchanges in that round by both fighters. Here's the one early with Arguello landing that hard right hand that turns Pryor's head, sends him away and sends him lunging back in. But Arguello stays in and lands a good right to the body, followed by a right to the head.